Jiru was your typical hopeless virgin, dumped by his crush for being, in her words, a complete loser. But fate, which loves a good joke, decided to smack him right in the face. Now he's forced to marry the most desired girl in class, the busty idol Akari, and take part in an activity called belly rubbing, where they're supposed to have 10 squinty-eyed kids together. If they don't pull it off properly, there goes their graduation. It all starts with Akari, the loud pink-haired troublemaker, heading to a shrine to pray to any available god to send her a hot guy, preferably a Chad with 8,000 points of testosterone, to be her partner in the school's so-called marriage practice. She barely finishes her prayer when, out of nowhere, Shiori, the sweet brown-haired girl, trips down the stairs and, in a panic, grabs Akari's boobs. That's right. Even the gods froze at that sight. The two stare at each other, realizing they go to the same school. Shiori, embarrassed, asks if Akari is also there to pray for a marriage project partner. Akari, blushing furiously, denies it hard and bolts like someone who left the stove on. But Shiori doesn't mind. She was there to pray for her own partner too, so it's all good. The so-called marriage practice is the school's new crazy experiment. Boys and girls are paired up in fake marriages and have to live together as if they were a real couple. It's like a reality show, except you get graded at the end. Cut to the school. Jiru, our charisma-deprived protagonist, and his fellow loser Sadaharu are slumped on the stairs playing video games, living their best lazy lives. The hangout ends when Akari shows up with her friends. She just tells them to move, and like good little dogs, they obey without complaint. At school, Akari is the queen bee, popular, gorgeous, and totally full of herself. Sadaharu drools over her, but Jiru hates her. To him, Akari is arrogant, rude, and loves stepping on people. Meanwhile, Akari spots Minami, the school's heartthrob, walking down the stairs like he just came out of a K-drama. She freezes, starry-eyed, already imagining herself as Juliet, while he doesn't even notice her. Jiru, watching from the sidelines, just rolls his eyes in disgust. The hypocrisy is unreal. In class, Jiru barely sits down when Shiori approaches him. A bit shy, she brings up the marriage project and hints that she'd like to pair up with someone she already knows. Jiru pretends not to get it, but inside, he's already writing his wedding vows. After all, Shiori was his first crush, and the only girl he's ever managed to talk to for more than 2 sentences. He even admits he's terrible with girls, except her. The teacher walks in and explains the rules. Couples will live together, their heart rates will be monitored, and whoever gets the highest score will receive recognition. But there's one golden rule: separate bedrooms, always. Jiru isn't thrilled about living with a girl, but he agrees, hoping he'll get paired with Shiori. Spoiler, the universe laughs in his face and pairs him with Akari. That's right. She shows up fuming, grabs him by the collar, and breathes fire. He raises his hand, saying he didn't ask for this either. Akari, of course, snaps back, "Oh, you wanted to be with Shiori, huh? That cute little basic girl." Then she twists the knife. Maybe she's already doing stuff with someone else. Jiru's shaken, but before he can reply, the heart monitor beeps and drops to -3. Congratulations to the couple. That device measures how well they treat each other. And judging by the start, Jiru's already expecting a 4-digit negative score. Desperate not to fail, Akari proposes they put in some effort. If they make it into the top 10, they'll be allowed to switch partners. Now with a goal in sight, they agree to a fragile truce. Akari flips the game quickly. She starts flirting shamelessly, leaning on his arm and calling him a loser. Jiru freezes up, but then, the monitor beeps with a single point. They realize pretending to get along actually works. They even do a little victory jump. Riding the momentum, Jiru goes to buy a soda. Akari, of course, tells him to grab one for her too, because that's what couples do. On his way down, Jiru sees Shiori standing beside Minami. He finds out they're paired together in the project. The sight cuts through him like a hot knife through butter. He returns to the apartment defeated, collapsing on the couch. Akari notices the mood and tries to cheer him up, but Jiru's not buying it. He thinks she's faking. She teases him, saying he needs to stop being such a wimp and suggests they start training as a couple. Maybe that'll earn them an A. He agrees, but reluctantly. Suddenly, the intercom rings. It's Sadaharu calling Jiru to go to Comic-Con. Seeing a chance to escape, he nearly flies out the door. Akari complains that leaving her alone will cost them points. Then she drops a bomb. She wants a goodbye kiss. Jiru's trapped between Akari's yelling and the intercom buzzing non-stop. In panic, he plants a quick kiss on her and bolts. Akari stands frozen, stunned by the real kiss. The heart monitor, back to 0. A week later, Jiru dreams of Shiori waking him up with a gentle kiss, but reality hits him in the form of a frying pan to the face, courtesy of Akari, who orders him to get up and help with breakfast. Jiru tries to shake off the dream, but the memory of Akari's kiss still lingers. At school, Jiru goes through the motions until a teacher calls him aside and tells him she wants to see him and Akari after class. On the way back, he catches a glimpse of something that shatters him, Shiori hugging Minami. It hits him straight in the gut. He misreads it completely, of course, and sinks deeper into his funk. Later, a movie-worthy downpour starts. Without an umbrella, Jiro hides under a tiny awning. Sadaharu shows up smugly with his own umbrella, but refuses to share, claiming he made a pact with his imaginary girlfriend. Seriously, that guy lives in another universe. Akari runs past with her group, heading straight to karaoke, and of course, Minami's with them. Jiro tries to remind her about the teacher meeting, but she ignores him and keeps going. Result? He takes the scolding alone and learns their marriage dropped to rank E. Translation: one step from total failure. Meanwhile, Akari's at karaoke, all cheerful, trying to chat up Minami, but he's colder than a walk-in freezer. Zero interest. Outside, the rain keeps pouring, and Jiro's still under that awning, drenched inside and out, when Shiori shows up, also without an umbrella. The mood shifts. Jiro smiles. Just seeing her lifts his spirits. Until she suddenly hugs him. He freezes. Blue screen. But Shiori quickly explains she only did it because a bug appeared out of nowhere. And then it all makes sense. The hug with Minami was bug panic too. Jiro almost slaps himself for overthinking it. She then asks him to start calling her by her first name again. Something she's missed. The moment's getting good, but before he can say anything, Minami shows up with an umbrella and takes Shiori away. What they don't know is that Akari saw everything from afar, silently. Soon after, Akari approaches Jiro with her own umbrella and offers to walk him home. On the way, she scolds him for not making the most of his chance with Shiori. He can only apologize for messing up, but Akari pushes further. She reminds him the goal is to switch partners. If they don't play the game right, nobody wins. That night, she makes omirite for him, fully embracing her cute wife mode, even writing a ketchup message on the plate. Jiro, unsure how to respond, offers her a bite of his own food. Akari hesitates but ends up leaning in to eat straight from his spoon. The air grows thick, the kind of tension that scrambles your brain. Before anything else can happen, Jiro's phone rings and ruins the moment. But the damage is done. Both feel their hearts racing, pretending everything's fine. Days later, Jiro dreams of Shiori again. This time, she's all gentle, asking him not to leave. The dream's getting good when, BAM! Akari's voice blasts through the room. She yells his name until he wakes up. Still groggy and annoyed, he opens the door ready to argue, but she surprises him with a tight hug. It catches him completely off guard. Akari just says she doesn't want to be alone that night. Jiro feels a weird deja vu, but goes with the flow. Instead of romance, they end up watching a horror movie together. Akari's friends swore it would earn them emotional closeness points. Jiro hates the idea and tries to kill the mood, turning off the TV and saying he's not into these fake bonding tactics. Akari's response? Matching pajamas. She proudly shows them off, saying she bought them just for tonight, all for that A rank and the chance to switch partners later. Jiro tries to resist, but seeing her dedication, he gives in. While he's changing, she tells him to turn around. When he finally finishes too, a huge thunderclap strikes outside and poof, the power goes out. Total darkness. Jiro tries to figure out what's happening when suddenly Akari clings to him, clearly terrified. The closeness makes him flustered, but before his mind can wander, he notices the heart monitor climbing like an elevator. He grabs his phone, turns on the flashlight, and sees Akari with tears in her eyes. She's trying to be brave, but she's genuinely scared. When he moves to comfort her, she starts lightly hitting him, dying of embarrassment for being caught like that. Jiro checks the bedroom doors and finds out that without electricity, they won't unlock. Akari, still scared, tells him to stay with her in the living room until the power comes back. The two settle on the couch, side by side. She leans on him and asks him to tell a funny story, just to distract her. Being himself, he decides to troll her and tells a ghost story about a cursed well. Akari gets even more nervous. Annoyed and trembling, she grumbles that Minami would know how to handle this way better. Even while complaining, Akari doesn't let go of his hand. In a softer voice, she admits that, at that moment, Jiro is the only person she has nearby. That hits him deep. He almost blurts out, "You're so cute right now," but manages to hold back like a true warrior. To calm her nerves, Akari lights an aromatic candle she got from Natsumi. The relaxing scent fills the room. The soft glow makes everything look like a romantic movie, and little by little, she starts to drift off to sleep beside him. In a completely unconscious act, Jiro slowly hugs her and whispers, "You look beautiful like this." The very next second, he regrets it and pulls away, face burning red. He glances sideways to check if she heard, but she's already asleep. Relieved, he whispers again, even softer, that she's beautiful. He holds her hand and falls asleep too, hoping no one ever finds out about this moment. But of course, the next morning, Akari wakes up blushing to the core. Spoiler, she heard everything. At school, they find out they finally moved up to rank B. In other words, this fake couple act is actually working. But before they can celebrate, Akari freezes. staring at something on the scoreboard. Juru looks too, and sees it. Shiori and Minami's couple just dropped straight to rank E. Awkward tension fills the air. In the following days, Juru can't stop thinking about Shiori. Part of him feels guilty, knowing she's not managing to connect with Minami. Even though he and Akari are climbing the ranks, if Shiori fails, the victory will feel hollow. Meanwhile, at a cafe, Akari sits with her friends Sachi and Natsumi. But not even gossip can lift her mood. The two notice she's spaced out and go straight to the point. Thinking about Minami, huh? They try to cheer her up with pancakes, saying they're as soft as a prince's kiss. But that only brings back the memory of Juru's kiss, and she gets completely flustered. Her friends catch on immediately. They assume something happened between her and Minami after karaoke. Akari denies it, but her nervousness only fuels their teasing. Even joking, they tell her the truth. Even if Minami and Shiori are struggling now, if Shiori manages to win him over, Akari could end up sidelined. The idea leaves her completely torn. Meanwhile, Juru's at home with a fever, lying in bed, wondering why Akari chose to go out with her friends instead of staying with him and earning some extra points. Then he gets a message. Akari forgot her key and will ring the bell. When she rings, he drags himself up to open the door. But it's not her standing there. It's Shiori. Caught off guard, he just smiles and lets her in. Shiori explains that Akari asked her to take care of him while she was out. Juru thinks, a two-person support team? Now that's teamwork. He lets her take charge. She places a cool compress on his forehead with such care that his heart starts beating faster. He remembers the time she got sick and he took care of her. The memory almost melts him. Then she heads to the kitchen to make rice porridge. Lying in bed, Juru thinks about how messy everything between them is. Like that time she was about to transfer schools, and he almost confessed his feelings, but froze. And she only asked that they stay friends. That broke him. When Shiori comes back with the porridge, he eats every bite happily, but realizes he missed his chance to ask her to feed him. Tragic. He compliments the food and comments that Minami is lucky to have her around. But she surprises him by saying Minami also cooks, and pretty well. Still, she admits they're not getting along. The connection just isn't there. A bit shyly, she says, "I wish my partner was you." She admits she struggles to deal with boys and that things would be easier if Juru were her partner. He takes her hand and says he'll help her however he can to get along with Minami. But right after saying it, he realizes how emotional he sounded and turns away, embarrassed. Later, while Juru's asleep, Shiori quietly thanks him for letting her stay. She admits that moment meant a lot to her. She leans closer, almost as if to kiss him, but stops at the last second. She remembers everything left unresolved between them, that almost confession that never happened, and she wonders, would things be different now? At night, Akari gets home and heads straight for the shower. While she's in there, Juru talks to her through the door, thanking her for sending Shiori to take care of him. He says it was like a dream come true, but then adds that he'll do his best as her husband in this practice so that in the end, she can be with Minami and he can be with Shiori. What he didn't expect was the strange silence on the other side. Instead of feeling relieved, Akari feels bothered. A twinge of jealousy? Maybe, but she's definitely shaken. Days later, during lunch, Akari suddenly turns therapist and starts bombarding Juru with questions. She wants to know if guys prefer girls like Shiori. Gentle, domestic, full of sweetness. Juru's confused, trying to figure out where she's going with this. Before he can dodge, she throws another one. What, after all, makes guys happy? He doesn't answer right away. Not because he doesn't know, but because he's afraid of saying something wrong and poking the hornet's nest. But Akari, sharp as ever, threatens to cut off his dessert if he doesn't cooperate. No way out now. Between bites and sips, he answers her "How to Understand Men" questionnaire. To make things worse, Akari sets the plate right at chest level, and Juru has to activate monk mode to resist temptation. Still, he focuses and answers. Guys like to see effort, like when a girl makes a homemade bento with care. Hours later, Akari drags Juru to the market. She wants to buy the right ingredients to make a special bento for Minami. From that point, they start spending more time together. She cooks, he tastes, and gives ratings. Even though he thinks all her dishes are good, Juru admits he prefers omelets that are a little sweeter. Akari doesn't like his taste and insists Minami probably has a more mature palate, so no extra sweetness. When Juru suggests she stop asking for opinions if she won't listen, she loses her temper and tells him to shut up and keep helping. At school, Sadaharu watches, jealous, as Juru eats Akari's bento. He can't take it and starts complaining that Juru's lucky to taste Akari's meat. Dude, what? Juru can't tell if it's a joke or an indecent metaphor. Sadaharu even asks if things between them are getting serious. Juru denies it, of course, but Akari hears her name from across the room and walks right over. The two panic instantly, thinking she found out about their gossip group. Without thinking twice, they both apologize immediately, without context, just in case. Curious, Akari asks what he thought of the bento. Jiru praises it but repeats that the omelet could be sweeter. The argument starts up again right there in front of everyone. Sadaharu just watches, cursing the anime gods for making him a background character in this story, wishing he could be Jiru for just one day. The next day, Jiru wakes up to find Akari already in the kitchen, preparing lunch to take to Minami at his job. He compliments her effort, and she offers him a taste of the omelet. He eats it, and while chewing, he thinks that this sugarless taste perfectly sums up his life, complicated, confusing, and unbalanced. He's living as Akari's husband, but his heart belongs to someone else, and worse, she's cooking for another guy. Akari changes clothes and shows up in an outfit that leaves plenty of plot visible, clearly ready to steal Minami's heart along with the bento. Jiru looks at her, feels that sting of jealousy, and realizes she never dresses up like that when they go out together. Before leaving, Akari shyly asks for another goodbye kiss like the last one. She says it made her feel safe. Jiru freezes, but starts leaning in, ready to kiss her again, until the doorbell rings. At the door stands Shiori, holding an apple pie that looks straight out of a commercial. When asked, she explains, Minami asked her to make it because he loves sweets. Akari hears that and freezes. She'd bet everything on a sugar-free lunch, thinking Minami was the refined type. Huge mistake. Shiori notices Akari's bento and jumps to conclusions, thinking Akari and Jiru are living a real domestic romance. Later, Jiru eats the failed bento to cheer Akari up, but she's clearly upset. She admits she feels like she has nothing special to offer Minami. Jiru, all flustered, tries to comfort her, saying plenty of guys would be attracted to her, but the way he says it comes out wrong, like he's saying she's just a pretty face. Terrible choice of words. Akari gets even more upset and asks if that's really what he thinks of her. Jiru stammers, and she decides to push back. She climbs on top of him and challenges, if that's what he really thinks, then prove it, and hold down your little tent. Jiru, obviously flustered, almost goes along with it, but then realizes how genuinely nervous she is. He pulls back. Even though he wants to, even though he feels it too, he pulls back. He remembers that they both have feelings for other people, and that giving in wouldn't be fair. His rejection leaves Akari hurt. She feels rejected, invisible, and blurts out that their marriage is over. From that moment, they grow distant for a month, their relationship sinks, and the couple's rank drops back down to E. Meanwhile, Shiori and Minami climb up the scoreboard. Sadaharu tries to get something out of Jiru, but he won't talk. All he can think about is the moment he stopped everything with Akari. He realizes that deep down, she was inexperienced too, and that he misjudged her, assuming she knew everything about the forbidden department. Later, Shiori calls Jiru to talk on the rooftop. Carefully, she asks about his situation with Akari. Jiru admits he messed up, that he treated Akari as if she were less than she is. As his childhood friend, Shiori encourages him to make things right. She says she believes in him. That same night, Jiru gathers his courage, goes to Akari's room, and knocks on the door. Akari opens it and invites him in. The moment he steps inside, he's hit by that cozy, sweet scent, Akari's scent. The vibe is calm, but the air is heavy. He starts by apologizing, but when Akari tries to brush it off, saying it wasn't his fault, Jiru goes further. He kneels on the floor, serious, and apologizes for real, the kind that comes from the heart. Akari hides under the blanket, embarrassed. But Jiru doesn't let it go. He wants to set things right. He opens up. Yes, he's had thoughts. Let's say, not exactly pure ones about her. But the reason he stopped that day was because she deserves more than to be treated like a disposable toy for one round. Gently, he pulls the blanket off her like lifting a bride's veil, and he looks her in the eye. I want to be your husband again. Akari takes his hands, brings them to her face, and softly confesses that she likes being with him, that she likes him, just like that, no hesitation. Jiru, heart racing like an Olympic sprinter, leans in to kiss her, but Akari blocks him, laughing in his face. The tension melts into laughter. Smiling, she makes it official. Welcome back, partner. After he leaves, Akari stands on the balcony, staring into the distance, smiling to herself, realizing she's just confessed something she's been holding back for a long time. Days later, during PE class, Akari and her friends are gossiping hard about their crushes, laughing, whispering, until the teacher scolds them. Meanwhile, Jiru keeps sneaking glances at Akari, but Sadaharu, king of bad assumptions, thinks he's drooling over Shiori. On the court, Minami is in full Kobe Bryant mode, sinking shot after shot, striking poses, hair flowing. Jiru notices both Akari and Shiori are hypnotized by his performance, and then insecurity hits. Sadaharu, always ready to drop a bomb, whispers that he heard a rumor. Shiori and Minami might stay together. On the other side, Akari's friends are saying the same thing, that Minami doesn't seem eager to switch partners, maybe because he's already falling for Shiori. Akari tries to stay strong, saying she still has a chance. But Jiru, inside, is melting like butter in the sun. Sadaharu, with zero tact, adds, "Let's be honest, Shiori fits Minami better than you do, right?" Juru starts feeling like a background character in a shoujo anime. The guy in the corner, no one notices. After class, Shiori approaches and notices Juru looks awful. She assumes he fought with Akari again and tries to comfort him, saying he should make up with her. Little does she know, she's the real reason for his drama. Juru even considers telling her, but swallows it down. Gathering courage, he asks if she plans to stay with Minami. At the same time, Akari is cleaning the gym when Minami suddenly shows up. She jumps, startled, and steps back. A box falls from the shelf, but Minami catches her just in time. Classic. Akari feels her heart racing. The confusion of emotions hits hard. Before he leaves, she hesitantly asks if he really plans to stay with Shiori. And Minami says, maybe yes, because things are going well. Akari tries to play it cool, but her eyes fill with tears. When he asks, she makes up an excuse. And just as he touches her face to comfort her, Sadaharu, peeking through the door, sees it all and jumps to the worst conclusion. Outside, Shiori admits to Juru that she's not sure if she wants to switch partners, but she assures him if they manage to climb the ranks together, she'd consider staying with him. Before Juru can answer, Sadaharu comes running, out of breath, desperate to spill what he just saw. Juru begs him to shut up, but it's too late. Minami and Akari show up right behind them. Juru notices Akari's expression. She's got that distant, hurt look. He wants to ask what happened, but she shuts down, pretending everything's fine and changing the subject. Sadaharu, stuck between the four of them, looks ready to explode. Minami hands the gym keys to Sadaharu with his signature charming smile and leaves with Shiori. Akari and Juru stay there, in silence. The next day, Juru overhears Akari's friend saying she left early, caught a cold. Sadaharu shows up nearby, restless, pacing like a dog craving attention. When Juru asks what's wrong, he finally blurts it out. He saw Akari and Minami kissing in the gym. He expects Juru to freak out, shout, break something, but Juru just replies calmly, "If they're together, I'll support them." Later, at home, Juru walks into the apartment and finds Akari sprawled on the couch. He says, "Hey," but she doesn't respond. Cold, distant. He sits beside her and, in a quiet voice, says, "Sorry for not being Minami." As soon as Juru says that, Akari turns immediately. Her gaze pierces through him. "Why are you bringing up Minami now?" she snaps. Cornered, Juru takes a deep breath and admits, he knows about the supposed kiss with Minami, and if that's what she wants, he'll respect it. Akari's response? Laughter. The kind that kills any dramatic mood. Juru's left stunned. She explains that the kiss was just a misunderstanding. Minami was blowing a speck of dust out of her eye. Juru realizes Sadaharu made a fool out of him yet again. The shame hits hard. But then Akari turns serious. She says what really upset her was finding out that Minami doesn't want to switch partners, meaning he probably never had any interest in her at all. And when she says that, the tears come. Ashamed of crying, she tells Juru to look away. But without hesitation, he pulls her into a tight hug and whispers in her ear, "I'm already looking the other way." Akari hesitates, then hugs him back. Later, while she's in the shower, Juru keeps replaying that moment in his head, wondering if the hug was sweet or just creepy, until Akari steps out of the bathroom, wearing one of his oversized shirts, obviously huge on her, and casually eating a popsicle. His heart nearly jumps out of his chest. She flops onto the couch next to him, leaning close without hesitation. Juru tries to stay composed, but he's a mess inside. Akari notices immediately and teases him, "Stop pretending you're not freaking out. I know exactly what's going on in there." Out of nowhere, she changes the subject. She brings up the whole Minami kiss thing again, and using her own hand as an example, mimics a peck, then says that, actually, her first kiss was with Juru, that he's the only one who's ever tasted her lips. Juru freezes, completely paralyzed. She even complains that he stole her first kiss like someone stealing the last cheese bread off the tray. But deep down, he's bursting with joy, because in the end, her lips are his alone. Days later, as Juru's leaving for school, Akari calls him over. She adjusts his tie carefully. He looks at her and, for a second, imagines what it would be like if she were really his wife. Akari catches his look and blushes instantly, thinking he's imagining couple activities involving hip movement. Before he can say anything, she hugs him and whispers, "Take care," right by his ear. He moves to hug her back, but she's already walking away, leaving him frozen and wide-eyed like an idiot. At school, Juru walks into the classroom for cleaning duty and finds Shiori cleaning too, even though it's not her turn. When he asks, she explains that Mei asked her to cover, and despite the punishment, she's happy because it gave her a chance to spend more time with him. But later, Mei quietly comments that the plan isn't going too well since nothing's happening between them. Even so, she encourages Shiori to be bolder. After all, Juru's not exactly the most experienced ladies' man. Meanwhile, Akari's hanging out with her friends, chatting about the couples who actually ended up together because of the marriage practice. Apparently, there are already 10. Akari shrugs it off, saying it's just temporary excitement, but the way she says it doesn't convince anyone. Her friends go straight for it. So, what about Jiru, huh? They say they'll support her even if she goes for the guy with zero game. Akari laughs, makes a joke, says she still likes Minami, but even she doesn't sound convinced anymore. Later, Jiru and Shiori finish cleaning. He wants to start a conversation but freezes up. Luckily, Shiori begins talking about that crazy teacher they once had, and the two fall into a light, fun conversation. From afar, Akari spots them together, and, by reflex, she hides behind a wall. She doesn't even know why. She just hides. Then she walks away, confused by her own feelings. Meanwhile, Shiori notices something in Jiru's hair. She asks him to close his eyes and lean forward. He thinks she's about to kiss him and panics, but she just removes a bit of chalk dust from his head. He mentally curses himself for getting ahead of things. And she, on the other hand, silently laments having missed the chance to feel his lips. Later that evening, Jiru's out on the balcony thinking about Shiori when Akari shows up with 2 cups of warm milk. She sits beside him and suddenly asks about Shiori. He tries to play dumb, but Akari instantly sees through him. He's a terrible liar. Then, with that mix of honesty and sweetness she has, she says, "Call me by my name." Jiru freezes. She explains that he calls Shiori by her first name so naturally but never does the same with his wife, and that, even though her name means light, sometimes she feels dim. Hearing someone she trusts call her by name brings her comfort. After an eternal silence, Jiru finally says it. "Akari." That's it. But the word hits like thunder. Akari freezes. When he tries to take it back, she stops him and asks him to say it again. He refuses, and that's it. The argument begins. In the middle of their back and forth, Akari blurts out, "It's not fair. I'm the only one who calls you by your first name. It's like I'm the only one who's in love." Boom. The sentence hangs in the air like the world just stopped. Both freeze. Akari panics, trying to cover it up. "I meant, like, as your fake wife, of course," and bolts to her room, face burning, trying to convince herself she didn't just say what she said. The next day, the teacher drops a bomb. The next marriage practice exam will combine both partners' grades. If the average isn't high enough, they fail. Jiru nearly falls off his chair. He knows Minami and Shiori are fine, but he and Akari, with the combined brain power of a lettuce, are doomed. After class, Jiru tries to convince Akari to study with him, but she immediately says she was invited to karaoke with some guys from another school who specifically asked for her. He insists that she needs to focus on the test. She brushes it off. "Relax, it'll be fine." But this time, Jiru doesn't back down. Serious and firm, he tells her to cancel and study with him. Akari snaps that her friends are counting on her, and he fires back, louder. "But I, as your husband, need you more." That one hits hard. She blushes, slightly annoyed, but agrees. Deep down, though, she thinks he's only pushing this because of Shiori. During study time, Akari's a disaster. She can't focus for 5 minutes. Jiru tries to motivate her, but she thinks he's only pushing her to impress the other girl. She suggests doing something fun instead, but he insists. Total focus. Changing tactics, Jiru starts praising every little thing she gets right. Slowly, Akari starts getting into the rhythm. Hours pass, and miraculously, they finish the material. She thanks him, calling him sensei, making Jiru turn redder than tomato sauce. Sensing his reaction, Akari goes into teasing mode. She starts calling him Poppy, Sensei Senpai, and every embarrassing nickname she can think of, just to watch him squirm. Suddenly, she jumps on top of him, pinning him down on the couch and putting him in a dangerously compromising position. Jiru tries to resist, but in a clumsy movement, he ends up on top of her instead. Akari, nervous, tells him to quit fooling around, but Jiru freezes. They lock eyes, he gently touches her waist and, bam, she lets out a quiet little gasp. Her cheeks burn crimson. But then, the classic. His nose starts bleeding like every virgin anime protagonist ever. Tension destroyed. Akari bursts out laughing while he scrambles to stop the hemorrhage of dignity. When he asks why she's acting so weird, she confesses she thinks he's only doing all this because of Shiori. Jiru replies that he also wants her to end up with Minami. But that leaves Akari thoughtful. If they reach rank A, they'll be separated. She won't be able to welcome him home as her husband anymore. That night, alone, Akari hugs the shirt he wore and breathes in the faint scent of detergent still clinging to it, feeling the end of their married life creeping closer. The next day, Jiru greets her but gets startled. She's back to calling him by his last name. She's smiling and cheerful as usual, but cold. It bothers him. Sadaharu, of course, mocks him. Oof, got demoted from husband to side character. But Jiru ignores him. He knows Sadaharu's just a die-hard 2D waifu fan anyway. Later, they see Mei turning down a girl who just confessed to her. The girl, heartbroken, only asks that Mei call her by her first name once. And when she does, it's clear how much it means. Watching that, Jiru remembers how important that was to Akari too. and how he ignored it. At home, Jiru's about to take a shower when Akari bursts in, all excited, waving the test results. They passed with high marks. She jumps on him in pure joy, ignoring all sense of modesty. Later, as she dries her hair, Jiru remembers her request and whispers her name again, Akari. At first, she doesn't even notice, but when she realizes, her composure melts. That confident front vanishes, and she's suddenly shy and flustered. Then he pushes it, repeating her name once, twice, 3 times, just to watch her melt. She begs him to stop, dying of embarrassment but smiling all the while. In the end, she admits, "I like it when you call me that. Since we don't have much time left as a couple, I at least want to enjoy this." Meanwhile, Mei looks over the scores and tells Shiori how Jiru and Akari seem to be getting closer and closer, and she warns, if Shiori doesn't make a move soon, Akari might win his heart for good. That talk with Mei lights something inside Shiori, but before she can think much about it, wham! A stray ball hits her square in the face during practice. Result? Infirmary. Mei, never one to miss an opportunity, tells Jiru what happened and even hands him some snacks and drinks to bring her. On top of that, she secretly texts Shiori to let her know Jiru's on his way. Mission Golden Opportunity activated. When Jiru arrives, Shiori greets him with a shy smile that says she's been waiting. But things get awkward fast when he notices the same kind of snacks he brought already sitting on the table. She explains, embarrassed, that Minami stopped by earlier and dropped them off. And just hearing that name makes Jiru feel a stab of jealousy. Shiori tries to ease the tension, commenting on how well he and Akari seem to be getting along lately. Then, in a softer tone, she confesses she wishes she were in Akari's place, as his partner, and that, compared to her, she feels left behind. She's never been good at dealing with boys. Jiru reassures her, saying there's nothing wrong with her, that she's amazing just the way she is. That helps. She takes a deep breath, then says, "Would you teach me how to kiss?" He chokes, completely freezes. But Shiori insists, saying she doesn't trust anyone else for it. After an internal debate worthy of an existential crisis, he agrees. They start leaning in slowly. But right at that exact moment, the infirmary door swings open. It's Sachi, looking to take a nap. She sees 2 pairs of shoes on the floor, connects the dots immediately, and quickly backs out, assuming some serious after-hours action is going on. Panicking, Jiru and Shiori try to hide, but in the chaos, he ends up on top of her, and boom, their lips touch. Accidental, yes, but a kiss nonetheless. Jiru jumps up like he's been electrocuted. Shiori, calm, says it's okay. But he, overwhelmed with panic, bolts out of the infirmary. Meanwhile, Akari's at home waiting for a reply to the messages she sent Jiru. Then Sachi shows up and casually mentions what she saw in the infirmary, implying something serious happened between him and Shiori. Akari freezes, completely shattered. Moments later, Jiru texts her, confirming he was at the infirmary. Akari's heart sinks even deeper. Later, she decides to visit the cafe where Minami works. He sees her walk in but pretends not to. He just leaves a special dessert for her on the counter without saying a word. Akari thanks him silently, more confused than ever. She returns home with her mind spinning. When she walks in, she finds the apartment a mess and Jiru asleep on the couch. Anger almost hits her, but seeing him there, waiting for her, softens her heart. Without thinking, she takes off her jacket, lies down on top of him, and stays there, listening to his calm breathing. She wishes he'd wake up, just so she could be sure that everything between them is still okay. That night, alone, Akari whispers to herself that she truly hopes nothing happened between Jiru and Shiori, and that he still sees her as his partner. The next morning, Jiru wakes up startled, with Shiori practically on top of him. Suspicious scene number 2. Akari sees his face, bright red, and doesn't miss a beat. Wow, was it that intense that you couldn't even let me sleep? Jiru panics. She just laughs, but inside, it hurts. He asks if she's serious, and she fires back with a question of her own. And you? Did you do something with Shiori? He denies it immediately. She then admits she was just joking. Total relief. But while he's relieved, she feels unsettled. Not because he didn't do anything, but because he seemed too calm about it. Like it didn't matter that his first time wouldn't be with her. The next day, Sadaharu notices Jiru acting strange. He asks what's wrong. Jiru answers with his mind full of images of Akari and butts. All he can think about are her curves, and his brain short circuits. Meanwhile, Shiori's struggling to carry heavy trash bags. Sachi and Natsumi show up to help. When Jiru and Sadaharu pass by, the girls waste no time putting them to work too. Natsumi flirts with Sadaharu just enough to get a yes, and it works. When it's time to split up the tasks, they suggest Shiori work with Jiru. But nervous, she immediately cuts in and says she'll go with Sachi instead. The rejection hits Jiru hard. He can barely stand. Sachi apologizes, but when the girls notice Shiori's shy reaction, they get it right away. She's got feelings for him. Later, Sachi and Natsumi hang out with Akari and drop the bomb. So, Akari, "Do you like Jiru or not?" Akari dodges, laughs, tries to act cool. But they don't buy it. They remind her how obsessed she used to be with Minami and say that no matter which guy she chooses, they'll support her to the end. After Akari leaves, Sachi and Natsumi talk about the obvious tension between her and Jiru. They're more convinced than ever that Shiori's falling for him, and that if Akari doesn't act soon, she'll end up watching Jiru choose someone else, with no right to complain later. That's when they spot a poster for a fireworks festival. Boom! Instant idea. They start plotting to give Akari a head start in the game of love. Days later, Akari scores an invite to the festival. And of course, she wants to impress Minami. Jiru helps her put on the yukata, struggling with the ribbons and knots. She complains about how clumsy he is, calling him useless and everything. Jiru stays silent, fighting the urge to just pull the sash and end the argument in the most drastic way possible. Akari shows him a few different bow styles and asks which one he likes best. When he picks the ribbon-shaped one, she scoffs, saying Minami would probably prefer something more elegant. Then she asks, "Are you jealous?" Jiru denies it, of course, so she starts teasing him, saying she's going to have so much fun with Minami while he stays home, alone, hugging his deer, loneliness. After he adjusts the back of her yukata, she tells him to fix the front. He steps closer, and the thin fabric between them only thickens the tension in the air. You could cut it with a knife. They both feel it. Later, at the festival, Sachi and Natsumi shower Akari with compliments. They tell her she looks stunning and that Minami will fall head over heels. They even admit they told Minami's friends about her feelings to give her a little push. Akari panics, but her friends reassure her. The yukata will seal the deal. Yet hearing all that, Akari can't stop thinking about Jiru. He's the one who dressed her, the one who made her feel beautiful. To protect herself, she thinks, if I fall harder for Minami, it'll hurt less when Jiru ends up with Shiori, right? But then, Minami's friends show up looking like they're at a funeral. He won't be coming, stuck at work. Sachi freaks out and scolds everyone. One of the guys even tries flirting with Akari to make it up, but she backs away immediately, and Sachi drags him off, calling him pathetic. The girls apologize, but Akari says it's fine and walks off alone through the festival. She feels strangely relieved that Minami didn't show up, but the thought that maybe no one likes her, not Minami, not Jiru, weighs on her. Then she hears people around her commenting on a beautiful couple. She turns to look and sees Minami walking next to Shiori. The ground disappears beneath her feet. In Akari's mind, the message is clear. They're together. And with that, she sinks even deeper into doubt. She starts thinking maybe it's time to give up. But before she completely breaks down, Sachi and Natsumi find her and, seeing her face, suggest she head home. Meanwhile, Minami and Shiori keep walking. But it's not a date. She was just showing him a shortcut to work. He thanks her, and she replies that since they're partners, they should try their best together. Simple as that. Back at the dorm, Jiru's on the balcony after another round of lonely agony. Frustrated, imagining Akari having fun with Minami while he's stuck there alone, he starts questioning who he even is outside of this fake marriage. That's when Akari calls, her voice trembling, crying, "Can you comfort me?" Jiru doesn't even think. He runs to her. He finds Akari sitting on the curb, completely broken. She opens up, saying she feels like a failure. Jiru doesn't need to say much. He just sits beside her, wraps an arm around her, and says, "Welcome back." Afterward, they watch the fireworks from the balcony. Akari quietly asks if she looks pretty in the yukata. Jiru says he likes the ribbon bow best. She realizes he's jealous, and this time, he doesn't deny it. That surprises her. Smiling, Akari takes his hands and places them on her waist. Then tie it the way you like. Jiru, nervous, tries to remember the tutorial on his phone, but when she leans in to help, the phone slips and, on reflex, he catches her in his arms. She doesn't move away. She just whispers, "Call me by my name, just to give me courage." And he obeys. Akari. He repeats it. Once, twice, several times, and she melts, savoring each syllable. The fireworks explode in the sky, forming hearts. Straight out of a romance drama. Akari thanks him for not asking about what happened earlier, and Jiru wonders why. Even though he has feelings for Shiori, it's with Akari that everything just feels right. Meanwhile, Shiori sits alone, thinking about Jiru and how he hasn't spoken to her since that accidental kiss in the infirmary. Akari, on the other hand, still tries to convince herself that her heart belongs to Minami, even though something inside her is changing. The next morning, the test results come out. Even with all their effort, they don't reach the required rank. But Akari stays strong, saying there's still time. Later, Jiru's in the shower, thinking about Shiori crying, and how she genuinely seemed to want things to work with Minami. Out of nowhere, Akari bursts into the bathroom in a panic. Completely ignoring the fact that Jiru's stark naked, she blurts out, "Someone's following me!" Jiru goes into full alert mode, until she adds, "It's a spider!" A huge one. He, outraged, complains that she ruined his bath over a bug, but she ignores him and drags him to the living room. They search everywhere for the creature, Nothing. When Jiru asks how big it was, Akari shows with her fingers, "This big!" He can't believe he's dealing with this. And even with no sign of the spider, she stays glued to him, refusing to let go of his hand. She begs him not to leave her side. Still clinging to Jiru, she convinces him to come with her to the kitchen to grab some snacks. The two end up sitting together on the couch. Akari keeps inching closer, and Jiru has to activate monk mode at maximum level not to lose control. After a while, she starts fidgeting, uncomfortable. Jiru notices and asks what's wrong. She shyly says, "Can you come with me to the bathroom?" Jiru waits outside while she's in there calling his name every minute just to make sure he hasn't left. When she comes out, it's his turn. Outside, Akari starts thinking about how patient Jiru's been with her. Despite all her moods and quirks, she realizes how much he really cares about her. When he comes back, Jiru offers his hand again. Akari smiles and takes it immediately. Back on the couch, while Jiru eats ice cream, Akari asks for a spoonful. He hesitates, but she teases him until he gives in and feeds her, just like in a romance drama. Out of nowhere, she asks, "What if we'd met as strangers? What would you have done?" Jiru says he probably wouldn't have talked to her, but Akari, contradicting him, says, "Even then, I'd still want to get to know you," and lets the silence speak for her. Then, playfully, she says, "What if we dated?" Jiru chokes. For a moment, he actually believes she's serious, and that thought echoes in his head far longer than it should. What he doesn't know is, she kept thinking about it too, but before things can go any further, the spider reappears. Akari screams and jumps on him, and they fall into a position that Jiru's virgin soul never imagined. They get tangled on the couch while she clings to him like he's her hero. After the adrenaline fades, they start laughing. Akari jokes that Minami would probably be scared of spiders too if he were her husband, but she knows Jiru would always be there, never running away. That night, Jiru sleeps soundly. Meanwhile, Akari leans against the wall, staring toward his room, imagining what it would be like if they were sleeping side by side, like a real couple. At the same time, Shiori sits alone on her balcony, her heart heavy, until Minami appears and offers a comforting shoulder. She admits that she accidentally kissed someone, and now she's afraid the kiss was bad because of her. Calmly, Minami tells her she needs to have more confidence. If she wants to know the truth, she should just ask the person directly. The next day, Shiori's talking with Mei about clothes, but Mei just keeps teasing. She suggests Shiori should show up in front of Jiru wearing nothing. Yep, full birthday suit mode. Shiori tries to change the subject and starts complimenting Mei's outfit, but Mei just laughs and keeps teasing her. That's when Shiori starts to understand why so many girls are drawn to her. Right after, Terafun, Mei's partner, shows up to say that he and Minami will be out all night at karaoke. He tells Mei to sleep over with Shiori. Before leaving, he even whispers, "Make sure to activate Shiori scissor mode." Mei freezes in shock, but Shiori finds it funny and agrees to the pajama party. Meanwhile, Terafun joins Minami and Sadaharu's older brother. During their chat, Minami mentions Jiru, and Terafun's face instantly darkens. To him, Jiru is public enemy number one, the guy who keeps ruining his chances with Akari. On the other side, Shiori and Mei are all hyped about the sleepover. Shiori suggests they take a bath together. Of course, Mei's mind immediately goes places. Wild, vivid places. But when Shiori says she actually just wanted to look at old pictures with Jiru, Mei realizes where her heart truly is. She cancels the plan and leaves Shiori alone to soak in her nostalgia. Meanwhile, Jiru's hanging out with Sadaharu talking about summer plans. Sadaharu, green with envy, points out how lucky Jiru is, spending so much time with Akari and having kissed both her and Shiori. Outraged, Sadaharu vows to erase those memories by overwriting them, with himself in Jiru's place. Right then, Shiori passes by the restaurant and catches the bizarre sight of Sadaharu leaning in to kiss Jiru. Her eyes go wide. Jiru, panicking, shoves Sadaharu away and runs after Shiori to explain. He stammers through the whole story, and Shiori, embarrassed but trusting, believes him. As they talk, Jiru and Shiori realize they'd been talking about different kisses the whole time. The misunderstanding makes them both turn beet red. The conversation stalls for a few seconds, until Jiru notices she's carrying heavy shopping bags. He offers to help, and they walk side by side, literally sharing the weight. During that calm moment, one of those quiet thoughts slips in. What if we were married, walking together, carrying life's little burdens? Shiori then brings up the kiss again, but this time, no hesitation. She says she liked it, and honestly, she's glad it happened. Their eyes meet, the tension builds. They slowly lean in until a black cat jumps between them, completely killing the mood. Scene destroyed by random feline. The next day, the teacher announces the start of summer break, but Jiru's still a mess inside, torn between Akari and Shiori. Before he can drown in his thoughts, Sadaharu bursts in, thrilled, waving a flyer for a summer job at the beach. His older brother's the manager there. And the catch? He already signed Jiru up. without asking. Jiru freaks out, says he's not going. But then Shiori appears, spots the flyer, and smiles, saying she'll be working there too. Sadaharu jumps in. Me and Jiru are going too. Shiori seems happy to hear that. And that alone is enough for Jiru to change his mind instantly. He starts daydreaming about cute beach moments with her, all goofy and love-struck, until Sadaharu reminds him, you'll need Akari's permission. Uh-oh. Back at the apartment, Akari greets him wearing a swimsuit so revealing it could cause traffic accidents. Jiru nearly collapses. She asks what he thinks and he can't even form a sentence, just short circuits. She notices and starts teasing, throws his jacket over herself pretending he's a pervert. He tries to recover and asks if there'll be guys at this beach gig. Akari assumes he's jealous, but he replies seriously. He just wants to make sure she'll be safe. With a shy smile, Akari admits she's not going just for fun. It's for work. And the weird part? It's at the same place Jiru's going. He says he'll be there too, thanks to Sadaharu, of course. Akari's surprised, but when she hears Shiori will be there as well, her expression shifts slightly. She pretends to be supportive. Oh, good for you! Making progress with Shiori, but that tiny hint of jealousy slips through. Suddenly, Akari jumps on him and demands he admit he'll miss her while they're apart. Jiru, stubborn, says no, so she moves closer and keeps teasing until he's completely flustered. But then the mood changes. She starts crying softly. Jiru panics. Through tears, Akari confesses she'll miss him. She hugs him tight and says she needs to recharge her energy with him. Jiru summons every ounce of willpower in the universe to stay composed. Calmer now, she asks what he thinks of her swimsuit. Awkward and red-faced, he admits he likes it a lot. She surprises him by saying she's going to wear a different one. Jiru looks confused. She explains, she's saving this swimsuit for the day they go to the beach alone. Then he spots her work poster on the table and realizes they're all going to the same place. Perfect timing. Later, the whole group arrives by boat at the island. Minami gives a quick tour and leads everyone to the cafe where they'll be working. After changing into uniforms, the manager splits them into pairs, kitchen or front counter. Shiori wastes no time and asks Jiru to be her partner in the kitchen. He agrees immediately, heart pounding. Meanwhile, Akari ends up at the register, paired with Minami, the perfect chance to get close. From afar, Terafin watches, dying inside. Sachi and Natsumi poke at him, saying Minami's going to steal Akari, but he just replies calmly, "You don't know everything," and says no more. Awkward silence. In the kitchen, Mei gives Shiori a nudge, tells her to seize the opportunity. She even helps set up scenarios. In one, Shiori pretends she can't reach a shelf, and Mei calls Jiru over to help. When Sadaharu tries to butt in, she drags him off to another task in record time. While decorating desserts, Shiori shows Jiru how to pipe whipped cream properly. She leans close and whispers, careful not to make it burst too soon. Jiru's face turns crimson. She grabs his hand to guide him. He fumbles and, splat, whipped cream everywhere. They burst out laughing. Jiru gently wipes her face and Shiori, blushing, smiles like she's floating. Feeling bold, Shiori leans in as if to kiss him, but then spots Natsumi and Sachi spying from the corner. She freezes, pulls back, mortified. Despite the embarrassment, a small smile creeps across her face. At least she made some progress. When the shift ends, everyone heads to the beach to relax. The girls show off their swimsuits, the guys try not to gawk and fail. Sadaharu elbows Jiru and points at Akari's swimsuit. He notices it's different from the one she showed earlier. That can only mean one thing. She saved that swimsuit for a moment, just between them. Shiori and Mei arrive. Before anyone can get up to mischief, Shiori points to a nearby hotel and says she wants to build something like it, and the whole group jumps on the idea. They start sculpting a sandcastle modeled after the hotel. As they shape the walls, Sadaharu can't help sneaking glances at the girls and whispering to Jiru. He's equally fixated on watching Shiori. Shiori suggests they make a tunnel, like when they were kids. The guys start crawling through. Their hands brush, she gently holds his hand tenderly. From afar, Akari watches, her chest tightening with jealousy. Later, Jiru and Akari go buy food for the group. While waiting in line, they spot a couple's discount sign. Akari lights up and grabs the chance. She calls Jiru her boyfriend with a wide grin, pretending they're a real couple. He laughs nervously at the cashier. Then she scolds him, "You look like a shy kid embarrassed to be with me. Act like my husband." When the order's ready, Jiru steps out to pick it up, leaving Akari alone in line. A group of guys shows up and starts hitting on her. When they spot Jiru returning, they mock him, saying a loser like him doesn't deserve a girl like her. Jiru reacts instinctively. He pulls her close and declares firmly, "She's my wife." The guys back off immediately. Akari looks at him, stunned. He starts apologizing, thinking she'll hate being claimed like that. But she cuts him off, eyes blazing. "Never apologize for claiming me. When you did that, you looked like a Chad." She tells him to be more confident as her husband in this whole practice. Later, back at the beach, the girls gather for a group bath while Shiori and Mei join in. Sachi and Natsumi start teasing their partners, making jokes about size and stamina, the usual. Shiori and Mei look a little uncomfortable at first. The talk turns to Jiru. Sachi says Akari's lucky to have him. Mei tries to hold back the teasing but gets dragged in anyway. To everyone's surprise, Mei starts talking deeply about love, sharing thoughtful, introspective ideas, and the whole group goes quiet to listen. Shiori, hesitant, apologizes to Akari for not joining in, saying she lacks experience. Akari smiles and admits she feels the same, but when they think of romance, the same name pops into both their minds, Jiru. After the bath, Akari bumps into Jiru outside. She sees he's a bit sunburned. Concerned, she tells him to sit down and starts applying sunscreen and soothing lotion on his shoulders and back. Jiru freezes from the close contact. Noticing, she laughs. "What, are you ticklish?" and starts teasing him, poking at his sides while he squirms to get away. She leans against him, resting her head on his shoulder, her arm clinging to his. She admits she misses moments like this, the simple kind of intimacy. That's when Sachi shows up. Her impression? Are they seriously pretending this is casual? They improvise, saying Jiru was just out getting something for the group. He calls her Miss Wagaig, using her last name, to keep up the act, which instantly irritates Akari. Later, Akari texts him, asking to meet on the beach in secret. That night, they sneak out. Coincidentally, Mei messages Jiru asking him to take a walk with her in the same area. He apologizes to Akari, not even knowing what he did wrong, but the more he apologizes, the more frustrated she becomes. Then, in the dark, she unzips her hoodie and reveals the swimsuit she'd been saving, leaving him speechless. She confronts him. Why does he act so distant in public, as if they're strangers? Jiru tries to explain he thought she preferred not to be seen with him that way, but she cuts him off, pulls him closer, and says she wants him to look at her the way he used to. Akari's voice trembles a little when she admits, almost in a whisper, that she feels strange when he has fun with other girls, that she's afraid he'll drift away from her. Seeing the vulnerability in her eyes, Jiru asks softly, "Are you jealous?" She tries to deny it, but the blush on her face gives her away completely. Before he can react, Shiori and Mei appear nearby. Panicking, Akari and Jiru run and hide inside a small storage shed by the beach. It's cramped, warm, and they're so close that she can feel his heartbeat pounding against hers. In that closeness, Akari realizes just how deeply she loves him, and how much it hurts to imagine losing him. Outside, Mei stops. She hears strange noises coming from the shed. She mentions it to Shiori, joking that something interesting might be happening in there, and drags Shiori away before checking. When silence returns, Akari, flushed, asks him to move back. He doesn't. She realizes that lately every word, every tease, every brief moment near her has started to affect him. And her too. The air grows heavy until Jiru, exhausted by heat and tension, faints from heat stroke. When he wakes up later, his first instinct is to apologize, but Akari stops him. Don't keep apologizing all the time. Then she confesses she wants him to see all sides of her, not just the cheerful surface. Jiru feels a deep sense of relief, yet inside, he still doesn't know exactly where they stand. The next morning, Shiori can hardly sleep. The image of Akari on the beach with Jiru keeps looping in her head. It haunts her. On her way to the bathroom, she bumps into him. She opens her mouth to ask about last night but swallows the words and walks on as if nothing happened. In the bathroom, Jiru finds Akari brushing her teeth. He walks in, trying to act casual, but can't stop admiring how she faces the day like nothing happened. Akari catches his gaze and, with a teasing smile, says something about that tight little situation they were in last night. Jiru turns scarlet. She steps away, leaving him with a mischievous grin and a reminder that's their secret. Later at work, Jiru and Shiori talk about the test of courage happening that night. Shiori admits she's nervous, afraid she'll be a burden to her partner. Jiru says he hopes they'll be paired together. That way, she won't have to worry. She smiles, saying something like, "I like you like this," with that tone halfway between friendship and something more, and quickly backtracks, insisting it's just as friends. Jiru stands there, stunned. Then Kamo shows up, teasing him for being stuck between two hot girls. Jiru ignores him, but Kamo, full of confidence, offers help. He can rig the partner drawing for the test of courage since his brother's running the event. After hesitating, Jiru agrees, but with one condition. Akari should be paired with Minami, so she can have her moment too. Later, when the girls go to draw partners, Mei subtly keeps watch and hands the results to Kamo. He explains he doesn't want Shiori to win through cheating, she deserves something genuine. That makes Mei see another side of him, not just the playful clown, but someone who actually feels deeply. That night, the pairs for the courage test are announced. Akari is thrilled to be partnered with Minami, but when he takes her hand, her heart splits, remembering how right it felt when Jiru held her hand, warm, steady, reassuring. When the test begins, Akari realizes she dropped her phone somewhere in the woods. Hours pass, and everyone returns, except her and Minami. The group starts to worry. Sachi jokes, "They're probably lost on purpose to build plot tension." Jiru feels a chill down his spine. Kamo's brother gets a call from Minami. They split up to look for Akari's phone and got separated. Akari's alone in the forest. Jiru decides to go after her, ignoring everyone's advice to wait. He calls her name through the darkness. No answer. Until he spots her phone on the ground. His pulse quickens. Meanwhile, Akari wanders through the dark woods, hugging herself for warmth. Rain begins to fall, cold drops hitting her face. She stands there, lost, in the forest, in her fear, aching over the presence she let go of. She feels small, drained, angry at herself for always relying on others instead of her own strength. When she hears footsteps rustling nearby, she calls out, "Jiru?" But it's Minami who appears. She breathes in relief and unease all at once. They take shelter together from the rain. Minami apologizes gently. "Sorry, I'm not the one you wanted to see." Akari denies it, tries to pull back, but he smiles softly, already knowing her heart belongs to Jiru. Meanwhile, Jiru keeps searching through the forest. Shiori appears, holding an umbrella. She tells him Minami found Akari and that she's safe. Relief floods him, followed by frustration with himself. "I couldn't protect you," he mutters. Shiori shuts that down immediately, says he's already done more than enough since the beginning. Then she admits quietly that she feels a little jealous, that Akari has seen sides of him Shiori never has. Jiru tries to reassure her, "I haven't changed that much," but Shiori sees deeper. She knows there are parts of him Akari's reached first. He swallows, hesitates, then dares to ask about her kiss. If she's been practicing again, maybe with Minami? Blushing, Shiori shakes her head. "You're the only one I've ever kissed." Her eyes well up. She tries to escape the weight of the moment, but Jiru holds her. Before she can say anything, Shiori wraps her arms around him and whispers, "I want you to show me a side of you that's only mine." Back to Akari and Minami. He smiles gently, watching her try to hide her tears. He says seeing her with Jiru is like watching a little sister in love. Akari teases, "Maybe your feelings would change if we were partners in this practice." But Minami shakes his head. He reveals he already knew about her feelings, and admits his heart belongs to someone else. Akari hesitates, then dares to ask, "Was it Shiori?" He laughs, shakes his head. He confesses he loved someone from his past, saw her with another man and suffered for it. He doesn't want Akari to go through the same pain. That's why he tells her to fight for Jiru, to love without fear. She cries but tells him not to apologize. Loving him was a precious part of her life. She wouldn't trade it for anything. Gently but with new determination, she declares, "I'm going to win Jiru's heart." Minami smiles quietly, wishing in silence that her own wish comes true. In a wave of emotional exhaustion, Akari falls asleep on his shoulder. Minami watches her, soft and silent, and murmurs a wish, that she and Jiru will be happy. Meanwhile, hidden among the trees, Jiru and Shiori share a deep moment. A silent kiss, heavy with meaning, undefined but intense. Weeks after the beach trip, Akari returns to the shrine where she first prayed at the beginning of everything. In silence, she asks for another chance, for Jiru to love her for real. Elsewhere, Shiori can't stop thinking about that kiss in the rain. She wonders if he felt something too, or if it was just a fleeting spark. At home, Jiru is haunted by the kiss as well. He replays it in his head, wondering if Shiori regrets it. Did she dislike it? Were those trembling hearts and drunken words meaningless? He even doubts his own lips, if they're kind enough. Trying to distract himself, he goes to a bookstore to pick out some manga. As he reaches for a volume, his fingers brush against someone else's. Shiori's. She's there too, browsing. Mutual surprise. She explains she's getting the book for her brother. Relief washes over them. They can talk as if nothing had happened. Jiru takes a deep breath. They leave together, and rain starts to fall. Jiru tries to start a conversation, searching for courage. Before he can speak, Shiori takes the lead and invites him to her house to wait for the rain to stop. At the door, she hurriedly tidies up her room for the visit. When he steps in, he feels the warmth. It reminds him of his own home. They sit down with coffee, each holding a book. The silence between them feels comfortable. Jiru feels content just being there. Their eyes meet now and then, the air growing heavy with meaning. Suddenly, Shiori stands up and goes to her room. Her heart races, full of doubt, afraid he'll think she's dull or boring. Jiru, meanwhile, stays frozen, lost in thought. Then Shiori calls him over to the window. Outside, a double rainbow stretches across the sky. She snaps a picture of them with the rainbow in the background. The moment glows. Jiru almost gathers the courage to say what's been trapped inside him. But just as he's about to confess, Shiori shows him a photo from the beach trip. And who's in the background? Akari. The image stops everything. The moment dies, and he swallows the words instead. Later that night, lying in bed, Jiru can't stop replaying the confession that never left his lips. His mind's stuck on repeat. Same scene, same hesitation, over and over again. Then, ding, a message. It's from Akari. She asks if he wants to go out for a walk. On the other side, Akari's staring at her phone like it's a ticking bomb, gathering every ounce of courage before finally pressing send. Jiru replies yes, and Akari immediately drops an invitation that's clearly a date. Jiru's brain goes into instant panic mode, already imagining 1,000 ways she might be teasing him. But even thinking it might end in embarrassment, he decides to go. After 15 minutes of waiting, that feel like 15 years, Akari arrives, out of breath from running so she wouldn't be any later. She looks at him and asks, "Do I look cute?" Jiru tries to compliment her, but it comes out completely awkward. Still, she smiles like she just won a trophy. She admits she bought the outfit just for him and immediately grabs his hand, pulling him along to start their day. First stop, a cozy little cafe Jiru's never been to, but he remembers Akari mentioning it's her favorite place. When she realizes he noticed that, her heart skips a beat. She flashes a huge smile. "Can I try yours?" And before he can even process it, she's already sipping from his straw like it's the most natural thing in the world. Jiru's brain short-circuits as he watches her, completely thrown off. Second stop, a cat cafe. That's right, kittens everywhere. And Akari crouched down, absolutely enchanted. She calls him over to join her, and soon they're both laughing as tiny furballs climb all over them. She even takes a photo of the two of them holding a kitten together. When Jiru sees the picture, he blurts out, "We look like a couple with a kid." Silent. He freezes. "And Akari?" She bursts out laughing. Her laughter fills the room, catching him completely off guard. For the first time, it hits him. They're actually on a date. On the way home, Akari remembers she left her charm at the shrine and decides to stop by. On the way there, who do they run into? Shiori. Total surprise. Akari explains where they're heading, and Shiori, with her calm little smile, asks if she can join. Better yet, she suggests a race to the shrine. Akari, of course, accepts instantly. They hand their bags to Jiru, now officially the pack mule, and take off running. As they sprint through the streets, they pass children playing, couples holding hands, families laughing, every scene a quiet reminder. They both want the same thing, and neither of them is ready to let go. They reach the finish line at the same time, panting and flushed. An old woman and man appear nearby, greeting them warmly. Here's the twist. The old man has the same name as Jiru, and even looks like him. Before Jiru catches up, the elderly couple disappears, like a scene straight out of an anime with hidden meaning. At the shrine, the three stand side by side. They close their eyes and make their wishes. Akari and Shiori, each in silence, wishing to be the one Jiru chooses. And Jiru, standing between them, wishes only for one thing, that everyone there finds happiness, even though his heart still hasn't chosen a path.